got it yesterday,
Yes.
but I got it yesterday, but I couldn't really look at it. It was already late, so
Okay.
that's.
That's fine. No problems. We'll try to see how we can uh, uh, expedite on time. But in the meantime, everything we're about to do now is already covered in several videos, including that particular one we sent yesterday.
Ah,
Yeah,
if that,
everything.
so there's no need for this one, right?
No. This is fine because at least it will give you a direct introduction for your own sake, right? So, but the fact is, um, whatever we're able to cover right now, that will be a direct contact that you have. But everything complete set is in that video. Everything about finance.
Mm.
Yes. So, um, okay. So I'll just inform Mr. Alex that you are here already. I think she's still trying to get to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, done. All right. So now, the the finance module. Okay, let me share my screen first. Let me be sure that you can see it. Can you see my screen right
Is
now?
it finance we are doing now?
Yeah. Okay. Which one would you prefer we handle first? HR?
No, no, finance is fine.
Okay, because I always prefer starting off with finance because it has several services for HR. Payroll, for instance, staff salary advance, and a few other things are done under finance. So
Mm.
yes, and even the salary account is created under finance. So at least you should know where those things are before you start handling HR. Do you understand, man?
Mm.
All right. So um, on that note, this is finance module. I don't know. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So this is finance module. All right. And usually the finance module workshop is broken down into three different parts: the setup, the management, and the reporting.
Mhm.
All right. Now, when you talk about setup, we talk about account number inclusions. For instance, you can see Wisville Academy, Access Bank, and currently everything about it has been entered here. This current balance is as a result of transactions that has happened in the system directly. But if you have an opening balance before this current transaction comes in, this is where it should be entered. As you can see in your own context, opening balance has not been keyed in. And if you have any other account number, hello?
What do you mean by the amount that has account a transaction that's happened in the system?
Okay, so let's assume that's what you do under management. For instance, any entry, any invoice that has been paid for from here, all right, any invoice that has been paid for or is expected to be paid for in this account, or the invoices that have been generated, even from wallet account or store, all those monies are invoices that are revenues, right? And they go to a particular bank. So they reflect as current balance on any of the account numbers that they are supposed to reflect on. But before you even get to that current balance, there is need for you to already have got your opening balance entered in against the account number in the first place. What we're saying in that context is we're assuming that everyone who is coming into the system already has something they were using to make payments, right? I mean, you were paying at the bank, you were running your school, you were having transactions. So before you even come into before you came to educare, you already had these account numbers running for your school. So there must be a balance on that. Now,
Okay.
yeah, from where educare takes up, there has to be an opening balance, which is what you should key in here before you start. But even if you have started before creating educare, the moment you come in, I mean, even if you have started, sorry, before um, keying in your opening balance, at the point of keying in your opening balance, for instance, let's make attempt to register a new account number now. You have another account number your school uses.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me just use mine. Let's say this is my account number 10550 1022. The system verifies the account number, and I can now give it an alias. An alias is just a marker that will tell me what this account is meant for. For instance, I can call it Zenith Bank PLC, right? Zenith Bank PLC demo account. So I know first of all that it is Zenith. That's the first. And in the meantime, I know what I want to do with the account. So that's what the whole banker liaison is. And the reason we do that is that you can have several account numbers with Zenith, right? So how do you know which is which? By aliasing, you know which one is which. So here we have the opening balance of a thing. You can see that in this particular one, everything is zero, right? But you can click on set opening balance and enter the current account statement. Like if you have your statement of account right now and it's telling you 500 million, you simply key it in, and that will be where
Amen.
we start.
Amen.
Yes,
I said amen.
you say amen. No? I like that. Okay, so that's what the whole opening balance thing is all about. Now, keying in the account number here is not something you do every time. So, for instance, you already have the account number you're using. So, even this one, no, I can just delete it. It's not a problem. It's just unlinked right away, right? So, we also have the chart of account as part of the setup. So, here you are meant to key in all the various account types that represent your income and expenditure in the school. All right, like your account receivables, your server hosting or portal management expenses, your office expenses, your internal revenue system. Yeah. Okay, first of all, you are conversant with chart of accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So you understand the account coding and naming, right? So here we have the account type, whether it is revenue or expenses, whether it's an asset or liability, whether it's credit or debit. So these are all parts of the setup, and it's not something you do every day. So to add a new one anytime at all you need to do is click on the button, the plus button at the top right. Just one moment. I think my system is a little wobbly. Okay. So all you need to do is click on the plus button at the top right to show you the the code box. And once you key in the code, then you hit enter. It goes to the next, which is the account name. So let's say that currently we want to have school fees. Okay. Let's say we want to have school fees account chat. So we add that up and then we choose whether it is a revenue or expenditure and whether it is an asset or liability or whether it is credit or debit. And then we save that. So once you save that, you can see that the code is here and the account name has been entered in the system.
So it's only 7 sets of accounts people created so far.
So currently we actually created only 6 by by default. It comes with the system 6, and then we also have a sample chart out here that is more than 100, which you can simply click to populate. So everything you have here are the ones that we have entered by default. You're supposed to,
Where do I find the 100?
sorry. So if you
Where do
click
I
on
find the
this, it will
Where?
populate this list. Can you see this number, this view? If you click here, it will give you over
Where now?
210. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, but I'm not seeing what you're clicking on.
Okay, so at the bottom of the page, there is download. There is
Okay.
upload your chart of account. That's when you
Okay.
have an Excel, when you have your chart of account in Excel sheet already, you can always upload that. There is populate sample chart of account. So when you click on populate sample chart of account, it gives you about 210 entries or more. I mean, just around 100 and something anyways, but because of the previous seven, it's now 210. So just to give you more views, more samples that you can always either edit or delete and upload yours. So if you want to get rid of all of them, you just click on depopulate sample chart of accounts. That will simply remove all the samples and leave you with the ones that you have created by yourself personally. All right. So, but again, like I said, these are just samples. So you can always populate and depopulate just to see what it looks like. All right. So you can see the ones I have uploaded now. I mean, the ones I've
Mm,
populated now. Yes. So it's about 205. All right. So that's about chart of account. And eventually you would have to link these chart of accounts to the account heads that the revenue or expenditure will be coming from. So that when you get down to financial statements, with the help of the chart of accounts grouping, everything reporting, daily reporting or weekly reporting will be made easy for you, right? So that's about chart of account. The next stop is the account setup itself. There is a menu there we call account setup. Excuse me. So when you get to that menu, again, this is not this is another menu that you don't have to go to every time, but it's part of your setup, so it will still require a little description. So here you have your payment methods or gateways. So what we call the gateways are the API interface between our system and third-party systems for payment, otherwise called payment gateways. So we have Rave, which is provided by Flutterwave. We have Paystack and others, but of course, our best bet, recommended, is the Rave because they have several inclusions that makes online payment and even offline payment a fluke. Just a very simple yeah, experience. So on that note, we have your API, which is given by the Flutterwave people, and the idea is that with this API key, we are able to link your portal, your account management to your dashboard on Flutterwave, and with that, it becomes easy for you to receive payments online, receive payment by bank transfers, receive payments from USSD, receive payments from even over the counter payments. You can receive it directly on your Flutterwave account, and it settles back to your Access Bank in T plus one. That is between 24 hours of transaction. That's when they send you the money, just like when you use POS, right? Everything accumulates and eventually returns back to your account. All right. So now, um, you don't again. This is not a place you go to. It's not necessary. You don't have anything to do with this place because it's been set up. And even when you have a new account number, all you need to do is forward it to any of the educare administrators you're in contact with, and it will be registered for you and also entered here. So basically, we don't have much to do here. The next stop is but then for the benefit of um, knowledge, this is how to add a payment method. First, you give it API, name alias, then you provide the public key and the secret key and the PID that were given to you at the point of creating the interface, that's the API in the first place. So once you key them in, then the system recognizes them and waits for proper use, correspondent use, that is transactions, right? Okay, so um, the next part is the management of the account heads. Now, in your school, you have different sections, maybe that handle admission, a different section that handles school fees, a different section that handle store, right? If you want to create an account head for these sections, this is where you do that. On the account setups, go to the second tab, click on which is manage account heads. And to add a new account head, you just click on the button at the top right of the table. All right, and then you can enter the account head name, for instance, admission. Okay, and you can select the rows that will have access to it. Usually the admin is the first, and then if you already have accountant, the accountant comes in also. Now here we have the account chart. So as you can see here, the chart of account that we enlisted previously are now available for us here. So we can attach any of the chart of accounts code or name that we know matches admissions. So we can call it other incomes. So what it means is that it will reflect under other incomes at the point of reporting. The next stop is the account type. Now, in our system, we have about 7 or 8, 7 or 8 different account types. The fees accounts are the billable accounts. What are the billable accounts? Billable accounts are accounts that you can generate manual invoices for. School fees, you can generate a manual invoice for it. Admission form, you don't generate manual invoice for it, because the moment you set admission pro forma, for instance, if you say that junior school pays, how much is the admission form sale for junior school? Hello, madam.
Okay, please.
Yes.
It's not safe together. It's together. It's 167. It's 167 if you are to be admitted. But if you want to start breaking it down, maybe admission form is 7,000. This is 1,000. This is, you understand? Then uniform. So like total new entrance is a particular fee.
Is a particular fee. Okay, so but then you give admission, you give out form sales, right? I mean, you give out forms, they fill the form, they bring it back, right? Before.
No, we don't do that. No, we don't do that.
So
we just said if you want to be part of the school, just pay and become part of the school.
Oh, perfect.
You
Okay,
definitely pay for the form, but you're already part of the school to pay for the form, really.
Okay, perfect. That explains why I didn't see admission form set up right here. Because I know that this setup has previously been done before this moment. So this is actually a home run workshop for you, because I know that this tutorial has been done before now. So okay.
Sorry, Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. James, there's a part I wasn't clear. Please, could you go back on this account heads?
Okay.
So you have account head name. That's the person's name, right?
No, the name you want to use to mark the account head, not the head, not the name of the person, but the name of the section, the name of the department.
Maybe because you're not here. What exactly does that mean?
Okay, so for instance, you have the school fees account head.
Okay, there's somebody that collect money for school fees only first.
There is salary account, there is wallet account, there is store. There are people that also take care of admissions. So
What
if
is
you have
admission
such
again?
now, that's the one that you just said now that you don't do it differently. So that's the reason it's not on the list.
So which one is school fees account head again?
Beautiful. So your tuition, where does it go? How do you add up your tuition to your host? Do you run hostel?
Mm-mm. It's just a
Okay,
second school.
it's just a secondary school. So all your school
Primary
fees,
school.
all your school fees are paid once into the same
Yes.
account. So you can see that the only billable account in your system right now is school fees account. Do you run store?
What do you mean by store?
What do you, where people buy snacks or
No,
uniforms?
no. Uniforms, yes. Store, no,
Yes.
like no.
Uniforms, yes.
But like snack and all those type of things, no.
No. Okay. So you have a place where students buy uniforms, they buy books.
No, okay. I have a place where students buy books, but it's a different business altogether.
Exactly. So, and but is it a school business? No.
No, it's not. But guess
Okay.
what? Do you know
Yeah.
why I'm having this meeting with you?
Yes, please.
I want to tell you my own needs,
Please go ahead.
and then I want to understand how to use the system based on my own needs.
Perfect. Go on.
So first of all, this is our accounting process
Yeah.
as at today. When you come to Wisville, our fees used to be very broken down. So we have registration 7,000, this one, that one, different breaking down like uniform. I mean, now after all the educational supply, everything, books and all, total amount you pay when you want to now finally come in is 167,000.
Okay.
Okay, so you pay 167,000. That is the total amount you pay to come in.
Okay.
Is there any need to start breaking it down as uniform, as if there is, because you're the owner of the system, you understand how it works best. If there
Okay.
is a need to break it down, very good and fine. Because why I'm asking that is that somebody can come back for another set of uniform. So we need to know the amount that accrues from uniform, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Differently.
So that means this 167 needs to be broken down into the system.
Exactly. But we'll get to that under manage accounts. You will see
Okay.
all that. It's called fee
So,
items. It's what
okay.
makes up the invoice to give you the grand total that gets paid.
Okay, no problem. Then this account head. So what is Swiss Wilson? So the only thing we have is school fees account and salary account.
Okay.
What else do we have?
Okay, so you have the wallet account, but it is actually basic. It's a default account. I mean, you create that. You have to create that. But the
Is
reason for
wallet account, please?
yes, so it's for holding parents' excesses or advances.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, before we proceed, can I say something? I hope it's not
Please,
offensive to you.
please go ahead.
I don't intend to use any API for now.
Okay.
I don't intend to get direct credit because from I don't this okay, this is my understanding. If I'm correct, you tell me yes. If I'm not, you correct me.
Go ahead.
I hear that if we are to use any KPI or API rather, or any gateway, we're going to be paying a minimum of about 2,000 naira per student, or
Okay.
about 1,500 naira per student, right?
Okay. A student
Yes, to the what's the name of those people? To the
to the
service
gateways.
provider. Yes,
No,
to the
no,
service providers.
no, man. Okay, so this is what happens, right? Just like when you have a transaction, when you want to pay your NEPA bill, when you want to pay on POS, when you want to withdraw, right? There is a transaction fee, which is usually a meager amount, so like well, usually 1.5% to 2% of whatever you are paying. That's just a transaction charge, right?
Mm.
It's not, it doesn't have a fixed price like, okay, you have to, well, it's capped. It's usually capped. I think for Rave, it's capped at 2,000, which means no matter how much you are paying, your transaction fee is supposed to be what is supposed to be 2.4% of what you're paying. And if it goes beyond 2,000, they will still bring it down to 2,000. And
Okay, let's
usually,
do the math now.
you say,
Let's just do the small math and see. So
okay,
for somebody paying 167,000,
okay,
what's the page, the transaction charge?
okay. So let's say, let me quickly get a calculator for it.
I was trying to get one, but I didn't know how to
Okay,
use
so
it.
let's say we have, okay, so we have, and of course, you can always call in, you get across to them, negotiate your own transaction fee, see how much they can reduce for you. But that's doable. That has been done for a couple of persons already. But what we are looking at now is one. Let's say their normal price currently, I think, is 2.4, right? Okay, so 2.4% of how much?
167,000.
167,000.
No, they are renting 176.
167. Okay, sorry, Abby.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you look at this now. This is 4,008, right? So this 4,008, yeah, let's say approximately 4,000 naira, okay, will be is supposed to be a transaction charge for transferring 167,000 naira to your account, which you can choose to add to the parent or or bear the charge yourself. However, because of the cap, because of the cap, this will never go beyond 2,000 naira. Do you understand
Mr.
that? Yes.
Please, I don't know. I know I'm not small minded. I'm certain I'm not small minded.
Okay.
I'm just very functional. I'm
You're what?
100%. I'm just very functional. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have a problem of number yet, in the sense that I don't need the system to collect the payment directly. Let the parents make their payment. Let us manually deduct it or key in the invoice for now.
Okay, that's not a problem.
When we get to the bridge where we have like 1,000 students, we don't want to keep doing that. We can close our eyes and be giving gateway to 2,000 per student.
It's, it's not a
You are,
problem. It's not a
yeah.
problem at all.
So,
Okay, so on that note, this setup may not be necessary for you, but I mean the payment gateway thing, it may not be necessary for you, but uh, the account heads are important for proper recording. You want to know exactly how much was gotten from school fees, how much is in a parent's wallet based on excess payments and all that. How much was gotten from uniform payments and all that. Direct uniform payments, not the ones that were added to fees, right? So
mm-mm.
since all you run is uniforms, you can as well just call your store uniform. You understand? But if there are other things you sell in the store, then just leave it as a store account, right?
Like what other things do people sell so that I can have an idea whether will help
Yes,
them?
I just mentioned books. I mentioned uniforms. I mentioned edibles, glossaries, right? All those kind of things that people sell in school that students use up. Sandals, that's shoes, right? Even the uniforms, you can have different sets of them. For me, if it's a mixed school, you have for the girls, you have for the guys, right? You have their pinafore, you have your school badge, your caps and stuff like that. Everything students need or use, they are part of things that you put in the store. And online, parents can pay for it. But now that you're saying you don't even want online, that means that even if they want it, they will have to get to the school, the front desk, make a
No,
payment. then collect it.
They don't have to get to front desk.
So
They're not
this,
getting me.
okay.
What I'm saying is that I don't want rave.
I
They can
know.
make it. They can request it online. Then the porter can give them their invoice. The same way we are going to generate invoice for their school fees for them. They should go ahead and pay their the what's it called, the money into the bank anyhow they choose. If they want to
Okay.
make a transfer, if they want to go and stand in the line and do anyhow they so choose is their bloody whatever. Then
Yeah.
we just manually
You
accept
can
the money.
reconcile that, accept it. Okay,
Because,
that's fine. Yeah.
for
So
now, I'm
that's why
saying that
that's what the front desk is all about still. Because at the front desk, we make the front desk work as a parent. We'll get to that when we get over to management.
okay,
So I'm
front desk
starting.
is a setup, not like
It's
the
a
real
setup.
front desk.
No, 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 no. It's just a
Okay,
setup on the
I
system.
thought you meant like front desk. Like,
I noticed. That's why I had to explain that. Okay, so I've noted two of your concerns. Are there more? Hello, ma.
yes, please.
As I said, I've noted two of your concerns. Are there more?
For now, no. I just
Okay.
wanted to explain that because you were explaining rave to me.
Okay.
I wanted to hear it all, and I've heard it all. Now I
Okay.
said, for now, we're not really doing that.
Okay. That's fine. That's perfect.
And then we've been able to find out the account heads, which
Okay.
is fees, salaries, wallets, and store.
So for
It's
now.
basically from
Okay. All right. So on that note, we move over to the next tab. It's not necessary for you right now, but then every account period has a range of time, right? I mean,
yeah,
you start your account maybe September, you close it in August, you start a new account,
yeah,
right?
I get what you mean.
Good. So
Is it for
this
like a year or for a term?
it depends on you, but usually you run it for a year. It's usually within this. It's supposed to be in tandem with your session. Your session usually runs a year, right? School
Yes.
session. So you collect your first terms, you collect your second term fees, and you collect your third term fees. Sometimes you might even want to collect a session fee depending on the parent's capability, right? So, as a result of that, the opening and closing of the accounts are broken down into different terms as well as sessional. So you can switch it off or on sessionally or termly. So let's say the session is still on, you can choose to switch off all the first term accounts or all the second term accounts or all the third term accounts. So you can do that individually or generally. Do you understand? So
Why do you want to switch it off? Why would I want to switch it off?
perfect question. Thank you very much for that. So the reason you do that is that invoices that are generated within a particular period are accounted for within that period. Now, because our invoices are live, they're in the presence of a parent, they're in the presence of an accountant. If you don't close an invoice, that invoice can be reconciled. That invoice can be receipted, not minding the time of the year or the period that the payment was coming. So let's say that you have an account, you have an open session 2020-2021 account,
Mm,
right? And it is the current active session,
mm,
right? And then
mm,
someone goes to this one is already closed, the 2019-2020, but someone was owing in 2019-2020.
mm.
The moment you come over to 2020-2021, this 2019 invoice, because it's closed, becomes an arrears that will be appended on 2020-2021 accounting. You don't
But if
go
you
back.
didn't close, what would have happened?
If you didn't close it, the person can still make that collection here, and that will be that will falsify the account, because if you were already to have done audit, that audit means that that account is closed. So you don't go back to a previous.
Okay, yes, you don't.
Yes,
You are supposed to carry it over as an
you are
arrears,
supposed to carry it
not
over as an arrears. You don't go
so it
back
will
to
be making you think you
2019.
have more money than you really do have for a
Exactly.
particular session.
Yeah. So you close down every period, so that it once you close any period, it closes all the invoices in that period, and you will not be able to receipt that invoice. Take this for instance. This is 2020 session. I just closed it by just clicking on the power button and toggling the session switch, right? And now, the moment I do that, if you come over to your fees account, for example, you will notice that the invoices here are marked as not paid and then account closed. Can you see that at the top? Account
Please,
closed.
Mr. Moses,
We'll get there
Mr.
again. We'll get
Mr.
here. I just wanted to show you this. We'll get
Okay,
here.
Mr. James. Mr.
Yes.
James,
Yes.
please, can you give me 1 second?
Okay, go ahead. 1 second, don't finish. Sure.
Oh, okay, like 1 second to send a message to the staff.
All right, go ahead. I'm checking.
Please, I need to do this. Please, I haven't slept all through this night because I was doing a training online and I haven't even sent the training. So the truth is that I if I don't send it, then there's no point.
Okay. So you have a moment. Just
That was why I actually, when you were calling me a second time, I was already very tired because
yeah.
so I see my screen.
No, you are seeing mine.
So James, we can continue. I'm not sure I know how to get around what I'm looking for. So I don't kill your time.
All right. No problem.
I just didn't want to be. I just didn't want to be saying but I'm not listening.
It's okay. All right. So let's go ahead. So here we have discussed the account closing and opening of the session, right? And like I said, all that is required is to click on the power button right here and either toggle it off or on as you wish. Also, you have the current term where you can set, okay, whether you are in first term right now in this particular session, or you are in second term right now, or in third term. So currently you are in second term, right?
No, we're in first term.
The first term it is then. So you just toggle the first term on so that at least the system will focus on that first term for the meantime. Or for default, by default, rather, right?
And what we wanted to do is what I probably think we should do, which is why I really want to have this training, is that would we'll move all our arrears. We know people that are owing us from last term, move it into the system, then just start afresh.
That's fine. That's fine. So now speaking of arrears, that leads us straight to the management section of the finance module. Once again, we have recounted that our setup parts include account number inclusion, chart of accounts setup, and the account heads setup itself. So those three are grouped under setup of the finance module. Now, when we go down to management, we have the management of accounts, management of discounts, management of store items and inventories.
Mr. James, I don't know if I'm seeing that. Maybe I need to come in.
Just kindly refresh your page. Refresh your, yes, refresh
I don't know
your,
if I can see that at all. Can you say?
just refresh the meeting tab.
Okay. I can't see anything at all now.
Yeah, that's why I said refresh the meeting tab. Can you
Okay,
see my
I
screen?
can see you now.
Okay, if you can see this. You can see Wisville.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so I was saying that we are done with account setup at this point. Everything that you need to know about management, or I mean about setup. In fact, the only thing that is very important is the account period management, because by now the account heads have been set up, right? And probably you must have added, the chart of accounts where they belong. And now there is one thing here: the correspondent. When you have a new correspondent right
When
here.
I'm adding what?
Okay, so I was saying there is an inclusion under fees management. That is very important. When parents make payments, okay, because you said you're not online,
Sorry?
right? You said you're not interested in online, right? So it may not be necessary for you.
Right
So
now.
yes, so it may not be
Right
necessary.
now, when we have
Yes,
the
that's what.
act is happiness now. When number becomes an issue, then that works really.
Yes, that's fine. So in that case, I would try to streamline the workshop to simple parts.
The what?
I would have to streamline this workshop to the parts that have to do with manual reconciliations and receipting.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So on that note, we go straight to manage accounts. Now, in manage accounts, you have the list of all the account heads that we have entered previously.
Yes. Please, one suggestion before we get to manage account. Why don't you set up for us so that we don't need to go any to the account setup for now?
Actually, everything here has already been set up. I'm just guiding you
Okay.
through.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. All right. So the manage accounts requires you to select, because at this point, the only accounts you can see, whether you're an accountant or a store manager or storekeeper, are the accounts that you are given access to. So here you have access to, well, everything. So if you select school fees account and you go in there, you are on school fees account dashboard, where you can see about seven. I would think that these are samples of invoices that were generated for students in first term, students who are in primary one P&L. That includes
Who
online.
generated it?
So that must be at the previous workshop with your school. So we will see how to generate this, and also when we are done with the demonstration, we just need a go ahead from you, and we'll reset everything back to zero so that you can start your live inclusions. Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. So here we have the dashboard for every account that you select here. The dashboard gives you a direct analysis of that particular account head. So the salary account, the wallet account, you need to, if you want to know how much is currently in the parent, in total of amounts that have been credited to parent wallet. This is where you see it together with their invoices. If you want to know how much you generated in school fees, at a quick glance. This is the dashboard for it. If you have given out invoices, this is the expected amount that the invoice is meant to return. And currently, you can see on the extreme right that none of them have been paid. Hence, the total expected is still debt, all of it. There is no payment yet. Now, we talked about manual reconciliation, that's manual collection. This is also where you do manual collection. So basically, for you and for, in fact, for your school, this is the most important aspect of finance management. Being able to generate invoice here and being able to reconcile the invoice after the payment has been made. Those are the two very important aspects, and both of them are done right here on this dashboard. So let's start from bill generation. Let's say you have this is first term, right? And you want to generate invoice for the first class in your school. The first thing you do is manage accounts, select school fees account, and then you hit the analysis dashboard. This next thing you do is to go to the tab bills. You can see bills, click on it. So this is where you have everything that has to do with your school. I can see that your setup still bears educare. You can change this logo to the logo of your school, which I believe is somewhere right here. Let me just quickly get you the logo and push it in there.
You are kind.
Yes, so that the invoices that are generated will have the logo of
I
your
said
school.
you are kind.
Oh, thank you. All right, so here we have Wisville. I believe this is your logo right here. Yes, that should be your logo there. So I'm going to use this logo for you. Home. So okay, please download this view logo. All right. So all I need to do is click on select image, go to downloads, look out for Wisville logo, and that's it. Save template. So at this point, any invoice that is generated for your school will have your logo right here at the top left. That is what it is all about. Okay. So at this point, you don't need to ever do this again. It's okay. It's done. If you don't like
Thank
the
you.
color of the invoice, right now you can see it's purple or violet. I don't know colors, right? This should be blood red or
It's
something.
maroon.
Good, maroon. I know you have. I know you know the colors, so no need. All right, so
Comes with the territory.
but if you, but if you want the a different color, this is where you select it.
I would have preferred a light blue.
A light blue. Thank you. So
This
all you do is select the blue of interest right there. It's a light
very
blue.
light blue, almost sky.
So something close to this. I mean, are you looking at this? Are you looking at this?
I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm
Which,
seeing that it's really faint.
so so if you just select the exact color you want, that right there, and
All right, let's retain maroon for now.
okay, fine. So here we go, and that's easy. So at the end of the day, it will simply affect the invoices, the invoice color right here. Okay, so it's a piece of cake for anybody who wants to change invoice. So then the next important thing is the bill setup. This is where you set up the items that show up on your invoice. Previously, you were telling me about entrance fee, tuition fee, uniforms, bus fees, and all that, right? And you say they have their individual prices, but eventually they all come down to 167 for new intakes and probably a different price for old school students, right? So what you do
Yes,
in
sir.
setup is to key in those in.
Something quickly online.
Okay, welcome back, YouTube. Sorry for that breaking transmission. If you are still with us up to this moment, then I'm sure that you are following up on, I mean, you followed up on account setup. And currently, we are at the verge of creating our first bill per se in this particular workshop. So, this is the bill setup. This is where you do all the fee item setup. It does not have any particular number like price. This is more like a library of fee items, right? And uh, you need not come here ever again once you have keyed all of them in, unless you have new item to add to the invoice. So currently you have the tuition, you have the PTA levy, you have the cardigan, the socks, the bus fees, the after
Was
school.
that first part for me?
Sorry,
The first intro you made, was it for me?
which of the intros? No, I simply refer to those who might be reviewing the YouTube link. Then I continued with you. Was that juxtaposed?
No, no, that's cool.
All right. So I know you noticed a diversion. All right. So now we have these items, and the only thing that we have to do now is to go ahead and use them. And where do you use them? Creating bill. Now, remember what I told you that there are that this manage accounts dashboard is the most important aspect of your invoicing, accounting in a educare module, right? And the reason is because this is where you see all the bills that have been paid or not paid. And this is where you create a new bill. All right. So analysis is where you see all the bills that have been created, while bills is where you create a new bill. And to create a new bill, you can see the create bill tab, which is the third from the left. You have the view setup, you have the bill setup, and then you have the create bill before you have the bill batches. We'll get to bill batches in a moment, but right now, create bill is where we are interested. Now, when we're talking about creating bill, we're talking about generating invoices for students based on current class, current session, current term, right? And their due in bill for the term. So, the first thing you do, as the instruction said, is to filter the students that you want to give a particular invoice set. The idea here is that you don't have to generate invoices differently, especially when the prices are the same. You can generate one invoice for all students that are relatedly concerned. For instance, JS1, or what you in your own
And
case,
in our own case, everybody.
everybody. So in your own case, it's everyone. So if it's everyone in junior school, all you need to do is select the school. If it's everyone in EYFS, all you need to do is select EYFS school, right? And
Yeah.
you see the list right here. It contains everyone, 68 of them. If it's for junior school, it contains 42 of them, right? So all you need to do is select the school and go ahead and add the group. You can see here that 42 students have been added in the waiting list for the invoice we are about to generate, right? 42 students. All of them in primary 3, primary 4, all of them. They will receive the same invoice. Okay. And if there is need, however, for you to filter down to a particular class or level or arm, these are the filter sequence. Just select a particular arm, it will reduce the number to 15. Select a particular, select a particular level, year group, it will filter down to 15. Select a particular arm, it filters down to just the people in that arm, right? But if you don't care about that, just simply remove all the filters and you'll have the full number. If you are interested in just a particular student, let's say you have generated all invoices and then a new student just popped in, right? You don't have to generate all invoices for everyone. Once the admission pro forma has been done for the student and they want to generate invoice, just go straight to this list, which is the select student list. Type the name of the student. The system focuses on the name of the student. You click on the name of the student and you add to group. The system will add only one student in this context. So whether you are creating for all or you are creating for one, this is where you select the students that are involved. All right, the students of interest. All right. So on that note, I will simply add everyone and create an invoice for junior school. So to do that, all I need to do is, of course, the system being in junior school, I simply click add group and then I proceed to invoice. Now, when you proceed to invoice, it takes you to the next part, the, the roundup part. The roundup part allows you to select the term of interest. Of course, this is for first term bill, so we select first term. And now we have to give it a title. First term bill is the title of the invoice. Every invoice usually has a title. If the preset titles do not match yours, you can always click the title button right there, the plus title button, to add a new one. And when you add a new one, it will be on the list. The idea is to avoid too much typographic errors, right? Okay, so once you are done with
Yes,
that,
you.
yes, thank you. Sorry about that. Once you are done with that, the next is
You
to
don't need to be.
select the fee items that will be part of the invoice. So, how much is your tuition? How much is your PTA levy? Right? How much is tuition?
70.
How much is PTA levy?
None.
Zero.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, there is no need of adding it to the list. So we keep it unchecked. We also have the uniforms. How much is cardigan?
None for now. It's not necessary now.
Okay. And socks?
We don't have.
You don't have. How much?
But we have after school care.
We'll get to that. How much is school bus?
We don't have.
Okay. After school care, is how much?
15.
1.6 or 1.5?
15.
1.5. 15,000. Okay. And you can see what I'm doing. The categories are right there. The categories. So when you select the categories, the items under those categories show up. You select a particular category, the items under the category show up. And these we are already set up from the the bill setup part where you enter the items, the fee items. So here we are simply using them. All right. So after school care, you say it's 15,000. All you have to do is enter the price and then click the checkbox at the extreme left of the item. There are no other items. So eventually your total for now is 22,000. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
You said no,
Mm-hmm.
which means that there are items that are not on this list.
You put 7,000 instead of 70,000.
Ah, so all we need to do is go back to that and put in the right one. So here we have the school fees, 70,000. So it's 85 now.
Okay.
All right. So on a normal day, this suffices for a full invoice, and all you need to do is click on generate invoices.
Excuse me, please.
Yes.
On a normal day, the invoice I will have is just 70,000.
Okay.
It's only a handful, maybe like two or three, that
That's
have this
okay.
fees to them.
Beautiful.
So, am I supposed to still do group invoice? And
okay.
then, if I do the group invoice, how do I send specific fees to specific people?
Perfect. A very good question. So, if the population of after school care are minimal, like very small, you don't need to add it to the batch invoice. You send out the batch invoice without after school care. Then you can add the after school care to the individual invoices of those who are who need it or who
So, how
are.
do I do that?
Yes, so we get to that in a jiffy. So let's say we create this invoice for 42 students. All of them will have 70,000. And all you need to do for now, ignore
No, no, no,
every.
no. Sorry. Don't do that. Don't do that yet.
Okay.
Because we are doing the real thing now, right?
No, no, this is still demo.
Okay.
Excuse me. Excuse me. You said, you said, um, okay, you were going to say something. Assume that this is live. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that you didn't add educational supply.
Educational support.
Supply, like the books.
Supply. Okay. All right. So as you can see, the educational supply is not on this list of items. So how do you do that? How do you create that? You simply go to build
You
setup.
go to title, right, and add also.
So you go to build setup and you add educational supply, either as a category or simply an item on the system. So right now, let me just add it as an item that is uncategorized. So I have, so the educational supply is meant to be a category. There are other items under it, right?
No, it's just an item.
Okay, it's just an
We
item.
don't try to make our accounting too tedious. So
Okay.
once you pay us, there anything we give you, we give you.
Yeah, all right. So let's say we have educational supply. First of all, because I'm expecting, just based on the name, that it is a supply of miscellaneous items. Let me just make it a category. But then, since you said it's still a virtual item, it's an item on its own without um, inclusion of any sort, I still use the same name, educational supplies, as an item name. All
It's a
right.
range of items, really, but it's something that runs for a whole session. And we
Okay.
don't even know everything that
Which
it entails at the
that's it.
point we are saying it.
Of giving
So
it.
it's
All
as we are meeting it, we're adding it.
right. Perfect. All right. So we have this item and we add it to the list. As you can see, it is now here on the list. So if
Who
we,
generated that 005? Was it you or the system?
no, 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 you create it yourself. Remember, the chart of account that this is attached to is the school fees chart of account, which is right here. Let me show you again. During the finance setup, right here, first of all, we had chart of account that included school fees right here,
Mm-hmm.
and this school fees was attached to the account head, the school fees account head, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
right here, you attach it here. All right. Now, apart from this, the individual items, sometimes you want to have a report of how much was generated on tuition, even though tuition was part of a bigger invoice, right? I mean, look at this invoice now, for instance. This school fees now that we are about to generate. You notice that we are adding several items to it. We are adding we're adding tuition 70,000. We are adding educational supplies. Maybe how much now?
It's 30,000.
30,000. Okay. We are adding so many things. So at the end of the day, it is just one invoice of 100,000 grand total. But
Excuse me, sir.
if you want
It's
to have
actually 110 for first term
for
for
first,
junior school, but I don't remember.
what goes
Okay,
with it? What goes with the
I
term?
have 10,000 is ICT.
ICT. Perfect. So you can see ICT is not here. Again, we will have to go over to build setup and add that up. So to add that, we just go to build setup and we can just create a fee called ICT. Okay. We don't have to give it a category, we just give it a chat number. Okay, and that's it. So you can see that it is uncategorized. There's no category to it. It doesn't matter. The categorization helps you to just have a grouping of a sort when the bill shows up, right? So now that we've added it, if we go back to create bills, select our target, proceed to invoices, and select term, you will notice that tuition is here, 70. And have the uh, flat 30,000. That's ICT, which is 10,000.
Somebody is knocking on the door. Didn't you hear it?
Okay, so there's the ICT under uncategorized. Um, so we have 110 for first terms. That's what you're saying, right?
The next person that will know, her name is Goodness. Give her the key. Sorry, please. I want to walk today. So we can watch TV. Later, baby.
So are we good? Are we good?
1 minute, please.
Okay.
Okay, I'm with you now. Excuse me, sir.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Clearly, sir.
All right. So here we have arranged a total of 110,000 naira bill comprising of school fees, that's tuition, educational supplies, and ICT. Now, the next thing to do is simply to go ahead and to click on generate invoices. Very simple. All right. But I want you to quickly look at these other four buttons and try to figure out what they do. Here we have the invoice note. Invoice note is just a text box that allows you to add all those your please note. All payments are duly done so and so. No refund of money after payment. Thanks for patronizing us and other things. Every footnote that is part of your invoice. You can always write them here. Okay. But if there is nothing attached to your invoice, there is no need for that.
There are. There are.
So if there are, all you need to do is to open this up and write please note, right? And then maybe use a bullet point. All payments are to
Payments are whatever at the beginning of the term.
to be made.
Like the payments are at the beginning of the term or
Okay,
before the beginning of the term.
good. So things like that, just key them in, and the system will note that for inclusion on the invoice. Another thing is whether you want to allow instrumental payment on the bill. Usually, we advise no. That is part payment. We advise you not to do it by default. Let it be by demand, by request, by from the parents, right? Um, the idea is that if you allow it, every invoice begins to expect part payment, and parents might want to take advantage of that. But if you keep it simple, just make your payment. Those who eventually come back, you simply allow instrumental payment, partly just for one or two invoices differently. But on a batch, we always advise no, and that is why by default it is on no. All right. But if you want to toggle it, all you need to do is click on that and choose the number of instrumental, I mean, the number of times that you want the installments to be paid, right? That's very simple. All right. The next one is the append previous arrears to this bill. Remember a moment ago we were talking about periods, accounting periods, right? And we said bills that are in a period that is closed cannot be collected directly because the collecting it directly will be backdating the audit, right? And falsifying it. However, such bills, though they have been closed, can be fast forwarded, that's brought forward a new invoice as arrears. So if you want to do that at this instance of generating a new invoice, all you need to do is toggle this button that says append previous bill arrears to this bill. Yes. What the system will do is for each child, the system will look for the invoice where, I mean, we'll look for where the child has a previous unpaid invoice, bring it forward and attach it to this new invoice. So instead of 110, you see some people begin to see things like 280 or more, right? Then there is another one that says imply wallet balance on this bill. When a parent has made some payments in advance, let's say you're about to generate an invoice for Chibuzo, and already Chibuzo's dad has added 50,000 to the wallet before now. Do you want to collect the 50,000 instantly at the point of generating this invoice? If the answer is yes, I mean, people should not have money with you and then have bill with you at the same time. Their money should exhaust their bill. Then, if there is balance, then we know it is what remains, right? So, on that note, remember what I told you about wallets, right? That it is a place for keeps of advances and excesses, right? For parents. So, if you want to use that up, this is where you use it up. This is one place you use it up, anyways, right? So, it's either you are implying it here or you are saying no, leave them. After generation, we'll deal with that. So whichever one you choose, it's up to you. But these are the buttons that necessitate all that. All right. So without considering all these are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So without considering all these abracadabra, all these extra gimmicks, you see that the only thing that you require is select the students you want to give invoice, create the invoice notes, create the invoice pro forma, that is the invoice items, and simply click on generate invoices. And once you do that, all the invoices will be generated. Once those invoices are generated, if you click on view invoice, you will see them as a batch. So here we have about 42 or thereabout invoices, all generated at once, all going to individual individual students. For instance, this is for Chukuka, this is for Ekene, and so on and so forth. So this is called a batch, and each of them will have exactly the same amount of money to pay, 110,000, right? And
Will
you
it
can
send it? Will it send to them once you generate?
you say,
Will it send to the parents?
no, I haven't. So to do that, all you need to do is click on publish. If I click on publish right here, it will send it to parents. But I haven't clicked on publish. Should I do that?
Yes.
If I do that, go to parents right now. Rather, this is a
Yeah.
demo.
That's fine.
Okay, so for now, let's leave it unpublished. All right. And
Okay,
if,
but there's no need publishing yet. Okay, but normally you're supposed to publish it now.
of course, the moment you generate an invoice and you view it and it is proper, you have that's the idea. The idea of showing you this is to review the invoice that we have generated. Some of these things we are done automatically, right? You just did a few setup and the system generated countless invoices, right? So you are using this opportunity of view invoice is to avail you a review chance. So if you open this and you notice, oh, chukuka, okay, yeah, it's fine. This one is fine. This one is fine. This one is fine. If you're done with your review and everything is fine, then there is no need of waste of time. Just go ahead and publish. Do you understand? Yeah. If you find any mistake and you want to retrieve it here and then, you can just click on retrieve and the
Can
whole
I see
thing.
an invoice, please?
Okay. Okay. This is an invoice.
Excuse me, please. Come down. I want to look at the address.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. That's your address, right?
Yeah. Invoice reference. What does that mean?
Okay. So every invoice is given a reference number. You can always track the invoice down with the invoice reference.
Okay, it's all right, sir. So the next thing is what? What of
So
now that we're doing this in late and some people have already paid?
exactly. The first thing you do is to generate the invoice. Now we can now go ahead to do collection. So let's quickly rush down to collection and do one or two of them. So here we have back to analysis, of course. We have extra invoices generated. Can you see? It's now 40 instead of 7, which means we added extra 42. The money is now 5 point something million instead of 2 or 3 that it was before. Now, the list of all the students that we just generated invoices for are right here. Chukuka is there, Kene, Onya, and so on and so forth. And if you want to uh, clear the bill for Chukuka, for instance, all you need to do is come back to this bill, the list. Look under status. Can you see under status? Yeah. So look under status. You'll see there the button of not paid. The status shows you whether paid or unpaid. When it is paid, it turns to green. When it's not paid, it's red. When it is uncleared, that's when it's a part payment. It says uncleared or not cleared. All right. When it's locked, it's not red, it's yellow or orange in color. So that means that you cannot access it. All right. Now, all you need to do is click on the button, that is the status button, which gives you a dialog box to collect manual payments. That is to mark the invoice as paid. Do you understand? So here we have a few more information displayed. First, it shows you the wallet balance of the parent, which is currently 0. Secondly, by clicking on this, you can see more details like the class of the parent, I mean the class of the student, the name of the child, right? The parent's name and other things. So we keep it minimized so that you don't get clogged up. But if you want to see more information, just click on it, it opens up and that's it. It's just a dog. But more importantly is the grand total receivable. That is the amount that we are expecting. So if there is arrears, it would have added to the subtotal by now. If there is discount, it would have added to the grand total by now, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, the total receivable is where we are interested. The reason we're interested in this is because you can collect more or less, depending on whether it is a part payment, full payment, or excess payment. But this is where you do confirmation of invoices that have been, I mean, bills that have been cleared, manual confirmation. This is the only place you do it. I will repeat this step just one more time. This is status of all the invoices that have been generated. And anyone that has been cleared, all you need to do is click on the status. It will pop up a dialog box. and proceed to confirm the payment. So here you have to choose the payment method. If the person gave you a check, then select the payment method as check. Of course, you have to select the bank it was related to, the bank it was sent to. In this case, it's just your access bank, right? And then, of course, the check will have a check number. If it's a teller, it should have a teller number. If it's a bank draft, it should have a bank draft number, and so on and so forth. If it is cash, do you collect cash?
No.
Good. So that means that at every point in time, you have a unique payment reference. The reason for unique payment reference is because sometimes a parent who has two kids, right, might pay two of them in one invoice. So that means that you can use one unique payment reference twice, three times, four times, and the system will keep tag of the number of times a particular reference number was used so that every payment that is made using that reference number can be traced later on. Do you
Okay, so
understand?
you're supposed to put like the transfer number or something.
Exactly. So all you need to do is key in the transfer number or the reference number or the teller number. That's all. Now, the amount collected is a very important aspect of payment receipting, manual payment receipting. This is where you can, if somebody paid 150,000 instead of 110,000, this is where you key in the 150,000. If the person paid exactly 110,000, this is where you key it in. And as long as this invoice does not accept part payment, you cannot collect 100,000 here. You must collect greater than or equal to 110,000. Do you understand that? Are you with me, man?
Yes, what will it be saying?
Huh?
What will it be saying? The person said 100,000. What will it say?
Should we try that? So when you try that, of course, the system will tell you that you cannot collect less than 110,000.
So, but the person doesn't know now.
The person who is doing this is the admin. You know.
I know, but the parent doesn't know, so it's not affecting him or her.
Perfect. So that is where part payment conversion comes into place. We'll get to that in a moment. But right now, let's assume that this is a simple payment, 110,000 complete. So all we need to do is select the transaction date. The reason we have the transaction date here is because this payment may have been done on Friday, but you received the teller today, being Saturday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So all you need to do is go back to Friday, 9 a.m. That's when the payment was made. That's the transaction date. And then you click confirm payment. So you can see it's a very simple procedure, right? Just click on the status. It opens up, scroll down immediately to confirmation page, fill the few forms, and then confirm payment. The moment you click confirm payment, the invoice, a mail is sent to the parent, and also the invoice is marked as paid right here, as you can see. So at this point, the confirmation page and everything disappears. The dialog box becomes a little simpler because it's a payment made already. And if you go to paid, as if you click on the status, you will see that the invoice has been paid. It's no longer like the other ones, the previous ones that are still unpaid, like this one. So you see the difference. This one is unpaid, but Chukwuka's own has been paid, right? Okay. So that's a straightforward payment. But for some of the rather complicated ones, let's use Ekene for instance. Let's say that brought Ekene's mother brought 50,000 instead of 110. How do you take care of that? It's a request. It's a direct request for part payment. So all you need to do is you look at this. Can you see this button that says change instrumental payment slot on this bill? Click on it and then choose how many times you are given this person, how many slots this person has to clear the bill. Usually three is fine. Make the first part payment, make another one, the third one should clear it. All right, so you do that and you save. What the system does automatically is to convert this invoice to an invoice that can accept part payments. So If we look at a Kene, for instance, point, you see that it is no longer like not paid like the others. It's now what? Not cleared. Right? So the system is expecting several payments. And if you check the instrumental payment status, if you check the instrumental payment status, you will see it is permitted here. Whereas in the previous one, it says not permitted. You understand? So as long as an invoice is not permitted for instrumental payment, you cannot collect less than what was written on the invoice, whether it is online payment or manual. So for this one that is part payment enabled, the details of the individual singular payments are usually listed right here, installment details, anyways. So here you have the individual invoices, those small receipts. Okay, I received 50,000 today. This is it. I received 100,000 more. This is it. And the
Can this
payment,
thing be done on my phone? Can the phone do this thing?
of course, of course, the mobile view is basically the same thing as, well, this is what the mobile will look like, right? Do you get that? So if you are using your phone to do this, it's basically the
I
same.
really can't hear you. Sorry, a truck was passing.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so I
know,
said
you need to
yes.
project
Sure
a
thing.
bit.
Yes. So I said yes that the your phone can do that. So if I click on not cleared, of course it shows me this. This is more like your phone, right? So I can scroll up and I have the view, and all I need to do again is to select the payment method. Let's say it's check, and the bank is Access Bank, and here I key in the teller number, and then I can confirm the amount collected. Now, because I have instrumental payment activated, can I go back to full view now? I just wanted to show you that you can do this on your mobile too.
Okay, you turned it to a mobile view now.
Yes. So you can see what it looks like on mobile, right?
Yeah, I think it's better for me to use mobile. Because basically,
That's what you use. It's okay. So here we have the payment methods and everything. Now, because
what if the person made a transfer?
we're saying the same thing. Even transfer come with reference. Just key in the transfer reference number. So remember that this is all about reconciliation, right?
Okay,
Like,
okay. So it's from the bank statement I'm doing this.
of course, not necessarily the bank statement. Let's say you received a check. Let's say you received a bank draft. Let's say you received a teller, right? They
I
have made
get
the
what you mean
payment.
now.
Yeah. So whichever one that it is, whatever reference number you have from them, that's what you key in here. All right. Excuse me. Just one moment. Tai.
Me, one moment too. Got something to do.
All right. Yes, madam. Are you back?
I'm back. I just want to share my YouTube link to
Okay.
the group.
All right. All right. That's
Sorry,
fine.
I really need them to look at this video today.
Okay. All right. So here we have the uh, we have the instrumental payment enabled for this particular bill. The previous one we did not enable instrumental payment, right? but this one we enabled it. So here we can collect part payments. You understand the difference? Are you with me, man? Hello, man.
Sorry, 1 minute, please.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now that you have activated part payment, all right. Okay. Please, for the sake of this tutorial, I would want to use the full view, but like I told you, you can always use your mobile for it.
It's not comfortable for you, right?
And I'm on a laptop, so it's kind of giddy. Okay. Okay, but you prefer the mobile. Let me see if I can manage from my own side.
No, no, it's fine, sir.
All right.
It's fine. You've been able to prove that I can do that.
All right.
Right, why I ask for mobile view is that it's not always the same.
Yeah.
The laptop is wide, so everything displays well. Sometimes the mobile view, you start looking for something.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I personally, because of your experience, I think I would want to manage the mobile view so that if there is any part of it that is not visible, we see it immediately and we put that up for rectification. So let me try. Let me try. Let me manage. Let me manage.
You are kind.
Let's see a few things I can set up here and make it possible. Okay. All right. So let's manage it. All right. So here we have we are looking at, I think, Ekene.
Mm. Ekena.
Ekene. All right. So here we have the invoice that is not cleared, and of course the reason it's showing not cleared is because this one is allowing instrumental payment while this one is not. Right. So on the one that is not cleared, that's the one that we are interested in. So remember that when we wanted to activate part payment allowance, we did it from here, change instrumental payment. But when we want to use it, because even though it is allowing instrumental payment, you can still go ahead and make a full payment on this invoice. But we are interested in part payment. So here in this, because we want to use part payment, we activate it here. Do you want to use part payment or do you want to collect part payment on this bill? Click on the button to toggle it to yes. And once you toggle it to yes, it
Could you
shows.
speak a little louder, please?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that if you want to collect, if you want to change instrumental slot, this is where you do it at the bottom, right here, right? But if you want to use it, this is where you do it at the top.
Where?
At the top, just the moment you open the confirm receipt.
Okay.
You definitely see the collect past payment on the bill as a button right here.
I've seen it.
Perfect. So once you click on that, it shows you this box where you can enter the exact amount that you want to collect. So now, our feature would have stopped here, and all it will take is for you to clean up 110 and enter 50, and that is it. Abi, that is one option. Another option is to pay for specific item. Sometimes the parents they give you a particular amount, and they ask you to clear it on tuition. So I want to pay tuition first. I'll pay for educational supplies and ICTs later. Or I want to pay 50,000. You know that 50,000 is not enough to clear any of the bills, right? So let's collect it on tuition. You simply go into this. So can you see where I clicked? I clicked on pay for specific items. You can see the button here, right? So when you go to pay for specific items, you can either collect full payment on a particular item or part payment on a particular item. The system is that robust.
What if you say no, that I don't want to collect for a specific item?
Yes. So if you say that, the system will still allow you. to key in the exact amount you want to collect right here. Do you understand that? The only difference is that because you did not select the item, if it goes over to the invoice analysis, it will not be able to attach this payment to any particular item. It will simply be a payment on the invoice.
It's okay like that.
Yeah. So whichever one it is, it's fine. All right. So on that note, if we so is this the one you usually go with? Okay, fine. So with this now, you just go ahead, select the payment method as usual, check or cash or bank draft, whatever it is, and then everything else is the same. All right, and select the transaction date. Again, maybe Saturday, 5 a.m. Okay, and there, confirm installmental payment. Just click on it. And if that payment is successful, you will notice that 50,000 naira will be reduced, or rather, yeah, there will be a payment of 50,000 naira less on a case account right here. This is, you can see that it's now left with 60,000, right? From 110 is now down to 60,000. If you open it again to view the not cleared index, you will notice that the grand total expected is 110, but instrumental payment was allowed of maximum payments of 3 slots. One has been used to pay 50,000, right? So the balance on the invoice is what? 60,000. And if you want to have the receipt of that previous payment, it is right here. 110,000 was what it is, and now it is now it has 60,000 naira. Okay, and if you want to see just that invoice, just that receipt of 50,000 naira, just click on the status and it shows you this. Okay, so here you can see.
So how do you send the receipt to people?
Yes, so they also have this receipt. The parents, they have this receipt. The moment this payment is made, a parent receives a mail that contains the invoice, right? So on
Okay, it's
click,
automatic.
it's automatic. On click, as long as you enable the email notification, once they click, they see the invoice, they see the breakdown, they see this as full as it is. They see this. So when they see this, they will also note the fact that a grand total of 110 was billed. Total payment is 50,000.
Please, Mr. James, 1 minute. I need to mute you for 1 second.
Perfect. Go ahead, man.
Okay.
All right. So, so you understand this breakdown, right?
I do.
All right. So basically, that's all about that. Of course, the notes that we wrote initially, you can see where they show up. All payments had to be made at the beginning of the term, and so on and so forth. So they show up here. That's the footnote.
Thank you. Who put the thank you?
No, thank you goes with every payment.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that's about the invoice bill generation and clearance. Now, there was a question you raised a moment ago. What's a situation where the student in question does not go with after school? We said majority of the students don't go with after school, right? So because of that, we generated a general invoice that does not have after school. But now let's say Ibekwe Faith goes with after school. All that is required is to open Ibekwe's invoice. All right. And click on edit invoice. When you click on edit invoice, the system shows you the list of already existing fees in the invoice. And also,
okay, you can now add.
There, you can add. So here, you can add. After school is how much again?
15,000.
15,000. Thought I remember that. And you click on add, and immediately you can see it here. It joins up on the list, and you save changes. So once you do this, the system adds that 15,000 to just that one single person and shows you the invoice again with the inclusion of the 125. So at this point, if you open the invoice, you'll have the proper breakdown. So this changes this person's invoice. Yeah.
So now that we're going to do this thing, depending on, like they've already all made payments now. So we are now going to depend on the statement of account to be able to do this, to do the unique reference and all that.
So at this point, if you really want to be accountable, if you really want to not have an issue, it's necessary to look at the statement of accounts. Yes, but on a normal day, you can just give it any. Maybe you have a receipt currently. You have
Please have my headset. Please, let me have my headset. I'm really straining to hear you. I need to connect to your headset now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Don't worry yourself. The headset will help. Thank you.
Okay.
Really strain now. You're a bit under the weather. Sorry, I need to connect my headset.
That's better. Even for me, I can hear you better now, I think.
Talk, let me see.
All right.
Did you talk a bit?
Can we go on?
Hello, sir.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir.
Hello, can you hear me, ma?
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me, ma?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Huh?
I can hear you perfectly.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Please speak. Hello, Mr. James.
Can you hear me, madam? I don't think your mic is working. Okay, can you hear me now?
A lot better.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. All right. Okay, so I was explaining something, or rather, you were saying something about the bill we just generated. We just added a new item to the already existing bill, right? And it became 125. So at this point, you can go ahead and do the normal thing. Either you're confirming a full payment or part payment. So that's about that.
Now, being that this payment is already, it was not done as at the day it was received. Exactly. So most likely we are going to be depending on the account statement to do that. Right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Meanwhile, do you have a register where you noted the invoices?
No.
Okay, no register. You just have the statement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you issued receipts, right?
No.
So how do you do it exactly? You just this person don't pay you, mark up.
No.
So explain now. No.
Before now, we had an accounting system. That's what I was explaining to your boss that we use.
That you have?
There's an accounting system we were using.
Okay. Okay, that's
So
fine.
now that's why we need to quickly come on this so that we can give everybody their receipts for this thing.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, no problem. All right. So all you need is just either you use the account statement. Yeah, the account statement is the quickest because with that you have the reference numbers.
I think that's what we need to do, and there's something we need to do like today.
Yes, yes, you need to do that. All right. So, but that's basically all you need to do. It's up and running because at this point you need not do anything else. You see that it's paid. See that a payment is already completely paid, partly paid. You can go with that, yeah, partly paid or not paid at all. Those are the basic things that we do here, right? So I'm going to, because of lack of time, I'm going to stop this session of payments and everything here. Let every other thing that you chop with, like whether whether it's discount or there is a do you do waiver? You do waiver, right? Hello, hello, madam.
Yes, please.
Yes, you do waiver. You know what I call waiver, right? Someone pays you up to 105,000 and says, "I beg now here they stop." What do you do about the 5,000 remaining?
I usually don't do it.
So you collect all your money.
I usually don't do it, but I don't think it's wise for business really. So I think that the people I didn't wait for last time they've all gone. So
Uh-huh.
I should think about that. But sincerely, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't think it's proper. But let me just know how the waiver is done for
Okay.
next time purpose. But really, I don't think it's proper. I think I don't
I
know.
get you. I get you. I get it's all about less headaches. I mean, if this is your money, is your money. Some people have that as a disciplinary measure. So having to pursue people around is not really the best, especially when you know you're giving them proper service, right? But then human beings are human beings, right? So it's
Yeah.
all about choosing the level of headache you want to accommodate. I think. So on that note, I'll just quickly reference it, but like you said, it's your call. Let's say this is not paid and the person is about to make payments and all that. The person tells you, I beg, this is your 110,000. I don't go pay more. I will give you 100,000 and that's his chicken. Like this is the last pay, right? Now you have two options. If this is a recurrent incident or event for this particular person, you can decide, okay, for this particular child, let me give him 10,000 naira discount as long as he is in school. That's all. So you can just go ahead and key in discount. But if it is a one time, it just happened now, right? You don't need to go to the extent of making it a discount. All you need to do is use a waiver right here at the bottom of the page. Just click use waiver and the system pops up a small inbox for you, a small box rather, where you enter the exact waiver amount. That is the amount you want to waive off, and then your reason for that. Requested by parent, right? Granted by admin. Chicken. Then you enter your password as the admin, the person who is logged on, either as an accountant or as a super admin. Yeah. So you enter your password.
Now that you said that, how do we even restrict? How do we restrict movement? It's true around the portal.
Yes, number one is that we make sure that whoever is doing this enters his password. That's one. Number two is that there is an
Where
audit.
is it? Where is it required?
So at the point of applying waiver, your password is required. At the point
No,
of
I mean like to even log in as an accountant. How do you log in as an accountant?
okay, so everyone, if you're an accountant, it's a role. If you're an admin, it's a role. Everybody has their credentials on the system, right? And once you are logged in, every activity you are carrying out is being logged or against your name. That's why It's necessary that no two persons should use the same account details so that whoever is handling it at a point, we should know the person, right? Uh, to log in is basically the same process. Like, should I do a login session? Is it necessary? Okay, you already know how.
It's not needful. What I'm asking is this: can a
Yes,
teacher log in and see all these things? That's the question I'm asking.
I can't unless you give the teacher an accountant, because a teacher can also have other roles depending on you. Sha. I don't know. You know how you manage your roles and your staff, right? But an accountant's role is an accountant's role, and only accountants can log in as an accountant, right?
Where
So
are the roles disbursed?
perfect. All right. So let me cancel this for now. Okay.
Or you know what? Excuse me. See what we
Yes.
do, eh? Sorry for that. Why don't we finish the discount and waiver so that we'll now do that?
All right.
So we don't have to come back to the account because this is the last thing now for now, right?
Yes, it is for now.
Because the truth is that any other thing that will arise will come from use.
Yeah.
Live streaming is on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry for that breaking transmission. So, um, we were about to do waiver here, and all that is required is just click on waiver, click on use waiver at the bottom, extreme left, right? Extreme left of the dialog box, and once it opens up, you enter the waiver amount. Let's say all I want to give out is 10,000 naira, and then I enter my reason, like I was saying before, requested by parent, right? Um, approved by admin. Then you enter your password. You must enter your password as um, as an accountant, right? From as an admin. Then you apply waiver. If your password is incorrect, it's not going anywhere. But if your password is correct, as you can see, so here I don't know your password, so I can't even do this, right? So that's just a proof of work, proof of concept. So I'm going to stop here. It's not necessary for me to even complete. But when you
Let
do
me
it for
ask you a question.
yes, go ahead, please.
But educare has access to all this.
Okay, so here is the thing. The moment we are done with our demonstration, all you need to do is change your password, and we stop having access to it.
Change our password to what?
To every one of the accounts. We don't have any specific account on your system.
I don't
However,
understand.
we don't have account. Educate don't have access to your. We don't have account on your portal. We use
Okay.
your account. We use the one that you provide.
Okay,
For
I
instance,
notice what you mean. Like you are going in through somebody now.
exactly,
Like you're going to maybe ask me or ask Miss Edike now to do this.
exactly. This is actually Jedediah, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Okay. So
But what if I want to create example, please, no verse.
yes, go
No
ahead.
verse. Assuming I want to create like a pseudo accountant
Okay.
because maybe because a school is not big enough, you don't have a specific accountant.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't also want my name to be on the accounting because it now looks, there's
I
something
know.
about structure.
I get you.
So when people think they can always just have conversations with you and all of that, so you may need to have a pseudo accountant who does accounting. So instead of seeing Jedediah, they will see what's it called? They will see accountants. Do you
Okay.
understand that?
Yes. Yes, that is feasible, and all it requires is to create a profile called accountant. That's all. And to create a profile, this is where you manage all your stuff. This is where you create a staff admin, a
So
staff.
we are now back to that authorization, right?
Exactly. So when you go to staff management and you create a staff, you give the staff a role. It's based on that
So why
role.
don't you create? Can you create down for me? Are you done? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, sir. Excuse me, please. Okay, your own
Yeah.
meter the kwaichi. Or meter came here. Bro, so I can kind. Or the more stressful. It's all right. Oh, okay, okay. Please, I was saying, so
Yes.
can we create the accountants now? Since you are me, I'm you. So let's do that.
That's fine. So first of all, you have to have the role.
Where do we start? Please, can we start from the beginning?
Okay, first of all, I noticed that your system doesn't have accountant already in the system, right?
Mm.
So first of all, this is where you go to settings. From your profile, just click on settings. And it takes you to this
Come, I
place.
can see. Okay, okay. School
Yeah,
settings.
just settings.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So with that, it takes you straight to module. So if you click on modules permissions manager, you will see the list of all the roles and their capabilities, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So you see the roles and their capabilities. You see what admin is capable of doing, what the librarian is capable of doing. And as you can see, there is no accountant on your list. So all that is required is to add accountant role by going to add role, create accountant. That's the first. And because you're going to be the accountant, it's fine to give yourself the admin dashboard. It's fine. And whoever is in charge, right? Or manager role, it doesn't matter.
I
What
don't
it is.
understand, please.
Okay, so there
I
are
don't understand this.
there are two dashboards on the system. The admin dashboard is different from the manager dashboard.
So
Okay,
admin dashboard is overall.
is overall. Thank you.
This then manager dashboard is
Is
next to
management.
it, more.
Just yeah, it's not everything. All right. So with that, you create an accountant role.
Use admin. Use admin.
You say you are. I think yes, you are Mrs. Uche of Yaniju. That's a super admin account. All right. Are we together?
I'm listening.
All right. So here under since you've created the accountant, dashboard is usually attached to everyone, right? And then an accountant should have access to HR, an accountant should have access to finance. Basically, these are the ones that matter, right? So the rest,
What of wallet? What of wallet?
the wallet, the accountant should have access to wallet. Okay? And when we're talking about wallet access, we are looking at everything except the parent's own part. Same thing when we are looking at finance, everything except the parent part, right?
No, I don't think the accountant should have access to chart of accounts like in the real system.
The real
I
system,
don't think, yes, in the real things
the
where
right
like what
system.
we're using before.
Yeah.
We're using manager before. We're using
Uh,
manager accounting before.
okay.
So the way manager works is that there's a stream admin, and then there are roles. Okay,
Okay.
there
All
are
right.
other roles.
Yeah.
So
So all you need to
if I create someone, I give the person the authorization where the person can go.
as simple as that. That's the simple we do here. So once you create the role, then whoever you are now that we have created a role, and we are saying this role, whoever has access to this role, or whoever is added as whoever
They
is
cannot
given
manage discounts, but I don't know who. For now, I probably me and Mr. might do that, but they can't manage discounts.
effect. So you see, so at the end of the day, you understand this scheme. So all you need to do is come to this place and give the right items to the right person or the right
They
roles to this.
cannot manage cash transactions.
They can
Cash
know what
transactions.
they
Manage
cannot
cash
manage
transactions.
effect. So we just remove that. So you see, you are already seeing everything that you need to see. So all you need to do is return to this place and
Did you see them?
do
Yes,
we
because we don't even have cash transactions at all.
at all. But then, what do you call cash transactions? Cash transaction is actually another name for manual reconciliations or manual collections. So everything you actually, at the end of the day, your own system as we speak, everything will run under cash transaction.
Excuse me, sir, there's something I wanted to ask. Petty cash. Do you know? No, 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 no. There is petty cash. There's something I'm interested in that I just saw now. But maybe we'll do that later, which is requisition, petty cash. Who is supposed to
Yes.
manage that?
Yeah, so it's the job of your accountant or the administrator
No, there's somebody that does petty cash
or
differently.
whoever you give it access. Good. So you have a petty cashier or
So I
something.
can still give another person a role like that, right?
Of course, you just create a role and then you attach just a particular module
What if the
to it.
person is already a teacher?
Good. So all it requires is to give the person an extra role. For instance, even this account, pseudo account that we just created now, you can attach it to a teacher and the teacher will still handle it perfectly. So the only thing that will be required is that at the point of usage, the person will have to switch from a teacher account to a petty cashier account or accountant account, something like that.
With
So
different email.
the same email, basically.
Excuse me, sir, please. I need to mute myself. Okay, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So
I,
so you
I can
understand
hear
this?
you.
All right. You can hear me still?
Yeah.
All right. So that's about that.
For,
So now
for
that
the
we've created,
for the purpose of not disturbing you, for the
yes.
purpose of not disturbing you, can you? I will keep quiet now, and you're going to do how to select role and how to add role to somebody, so that I don't ask you. If not, that's one thing I know I'm going to call you back for.
Okay. All right. So this is your dashboard. If you are logging in now, if you're logging in for the first time, this is where you come. This is your dashboard, right? And from here, you already have your profile. You have your profile right here at the top right. So
I
once
can
you
see
click
it, sir.
there, you can click settings. And once you go to settings, the first place that the setting comes to is the general tab. That's not your concern at this point. All you go to is manage module permissions right here. Click on modules permissions manager. Okay, and it will show you the list of all the existing roles and their current permissions. Sorry, I think I clicked somewhere different. Okay, so it opens up and it will show you the list of the existing managers or roles like the accountant, the teacher, the librarian, the yeah. So let's say we want to create a new role now. All that we have to do is to go to add
Add
role
role.
and then key in the role. So let's say, for instance, right now, I want to have
Petty
petty cash
cash.
accountant, something like that. And then we give the person a dashboard and then allow the person to switch role and then save. Okay. So once you
So who is
create
the person we gave it to now? Oh,
we
we're not
get
giving it to anybody.
we have not given it to anyone, we're just creating the role. So when you create this now, apart from the dashboard, you can give the person now access to just a menu under finance module, which is what? Petty cash.
Petty cash.
You understand? That'll be the only thing. So with that and maybe ability to send mail, ability to send SMS, calendar, few things that are necessary, right? And then you update. So with this now you have created the the
Impress and petty cash is not the same thing.
no, they're not the same thing. So the impress is for the
What?
students. Yes. Impress is for
Okay, okay.
students. Yes. Petty cash is for admin. All right. So now with that, having created that, the next thing is to now create the managers or give the assign the role to a teacher. For instance, I heard when you mentioned what if it's a teacher already, right? So let's say this teacher now will go to view teachers. Give me a sample of a teacher.
The person that is managing it is Miss Blessing.
Is what?
Miss Blessing.
Blessing.
Yes.
That's this one, right? Good. So
Ebulani.
yeah, every so so all you need to do is open up blessings account and then attach an extra row from here, which is now petty cash account.
And
Okay.
and she's also a supervisor. That's too
Okay.
much role.
Well, if it's a role, if it's a role, you add it. So at the end of the day, they all add up for the person's job description, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now I have added petty cash accountant as one extra role apart from the default role of a teacher, such that when this person logs in, I mean this blessing, whenever blessing logs in, right? There are a few things blessing will be able to do. First and default, anytime he logs in, will be as a teacher. But when he clicks when she clicks on her profile, she can see my roles, right? And from that my roles, she can switch to particular account. So once she does that, she leaves completely the teacher profile and goes into the accountant profile.
Did you go in as blessing now? Did you go in as blessing now?
Yes, yes.
How do you know her password?
I don't know her password, but as a super admin, you can log in as a teacher, you can log in as other staff. That's enabled in the system.
Okay, so it's me that is going into blessing, not you.
Not me, oh, I beg. My hand no deal.
So how do you know my password then?
I don't know your password yet.
So how did you
We gave
use?
out default passwords, which eventually, by the time you are used to the system, you change.
Okay, we haven't changed our default
No,
password.
you haven't. You haven't.
How do you know I've not changed it?
Because I'm able to log in with what I already know as the default password. All right. So with that, with that, you can see the menu that Blessing is able to view. Can you see? Just petty cash.
What
Just
is
petty cash.
so let her manage her petty cash. Now let's see.
So this is it. So the moment you go over to petty cash, you should be able to key in when you collect any particular amount from any particular bank, crediting the petty cash and also debiting the petty cash. So all those things are part of what you do here. For everything about petty cash is properly um, documented in the previous uh, video that we have given you. So for the sake of time, this is already 10 o'clock
No,
past.
there's no point.
So, um, but petty cash is as simple as you can see here. Just go to petty cash transaction log. You can add a new one. You can
I'm sure we can find.
yes,
I'm sure
so
we can find a way around.
yes. So just credit the petty cash, add your password, add the teller number, and from there you can start managing. You can even send some cash from requisition. That's from budgeting. You can make some budgets and include petty cash as part of your budget and so on and so forth. So playing around with this.
Where do you create? I get. Where do you play? Do school budget? Sorry. Nah,
Okay,
nah, we
so
can.
all right. So this is already this person does not have access to
Oh,
school budget.
sorry. Sorry. I want to ask you one last thing before I think we should reschedule
Okay,
if you don't
uh,
mind.
that's fine.
Let me now call you. Not from my end, from your end as well.
Okay,
I was wondering,
yes.
if you want to create school budgets, where do you do that? That's one. Two,
Okay,
there was something Mr. Alex mentioned while he was in my office.
okay.
He said it's possible for you to know how much we spend on each child,
Come again.
to even know that it is possible to know how much we spend on each child,
How much you spend
like
on each child?
like
Okay,
our
what?
cost price. You get that?
I didn't get that. I don't. Okay, let's say
Like what is the
you have
cost?
50 students, right?
You know that Chikowa, that how do people even set school fees? That for you to set school fees, you should be able to know the cost price for each child. I don't know how to say that again.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think I got you. That's a different.
I
Um,
know, I know definitely. I just that's why I say you don't need to attend to it now. I just wanted
okay,
to know if you know. I just
of
wanted to
course,
know if you know.
of course, I know, and definitely yes, it is possible to do that.
Okay, so you can. Is it possible for you to tell me on a later date?
Maybe on a later day, yes, on a later day, please. But then, talking about budget, it's still part of what you have on the finance module. Right here, you have the budget management and the requisition that goes with it. Right here, you have the budget management and the
Where's
requisitions
that?
that the budget management. So, and of course, you
Where is
have the
it?
direct costs, especially where the budget does not cover a particular expenses, right? So you can
I
just
can't see your budget section.
hmm?
Okay, I've seen manage. I've seen it.
Yes. All right. So yeah, basically everything, even the salary advance, the payroll, and everything, they're all here. Speaking of payroll and salary advance, we'll eventually get to that, but that will be once we have set up HR. All right.
She's already doing that, I guess.
She's already doing that, yes. So the moment she's done,
It's just setting up HR. Is it not just to key in everybody into the
just to
system?
key in PIN, yeah, that's all. Just to key in
But
PIN.
everybody's already keyed into the system already now.
Sorry, no. Previously, we have the staff management, we have the teacher management, and everything. HR is a module of its own. In fact, it's a standalone. The fact that it is attached to the system, notwithstanding. So, currently, the only thing we got from the previous profiles when it comes to HR is the names of all the staff, but we don't have their profile, right? So the profiling is what she's currently doing. So if you come to this place right now, you see that the list of everyone is there, but their profiles are not there yet. So we don't know their jobs, we don't know their status, we don't know who is their supervisor, we don't know when they joined, we don't know anything about them. So that
How
profiling,
come I don't have Enugu State's number?
because you are not a teacher.
Who said?
If you are, then you can just edit your profile and have a stepping accent attached to it. So
How do you generate it, the Enugu State's number?
well,
From?
usually the super admin in the system don't go with a state pin because by default, once a system is being created, a super admin is added to the system, right? A super admin need
Is
not
what?
be any personnel in the school. It
Okay.
must be a pseudo account. So as a result of that, we usually don't bother with a state pin. We don't even know if you'll be in Lagos or Enugu or Safari at the point of uh,
Yeah.
boarding.
So you manage it from wherever you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, we are going to stop here. For further inquiries, please kindly refer to the previous YouTube channel that was sent to you on WhatsApp, and for reference purposes for this particular one, the YouTube channel that I put on the chat box is where you go.
Just send to me. Okay, no,
Sorry,
maybe you may not be able to send to me. Send to whoever can send to me.
I've
I
sent
don't,
you.
I, don't- I don't,
Mr.
I
Alex will
don't
get
think
it.
we're on WhatsApp.
Mr.
I don't
Alex will
think
get
we're on
it.
WhatsApp. Thank you for your time.
All right.
I
So,
really, I really appreciate your. I really understood most of what you said, but of
okay.
course, in the course of using it,
In the course of
yeah, we understand it.
you'll have
We shall
much.
understand it better by and by. And
So you're not speaking heavenly code for me, Abby.
anyway, but I think I've enjoyed learning with you. It was explicit and it was clear. I
Thank you.
thank you for your time,
Thank you.
even though you made me not to sleep at all.
Sorry.
Um, no, no, sorry does not cut it for me. Sorry does
So,
not cut it. I will just hold it as a favor you owe me. I will
all
use
right.
it someday.
All right. Okay.
But sorry does not cut it for me at all. No, but since 11, I wait till 1 a.m. And if
Yeah.
you notice, I was talking to Mr. Alex by 10. So what time did I sleep?
What time did you
So
sleep?
please.
I understand. All right.
Sorry, doesn't even cut it at all. So you owe me. I'm going to
No.
use it whenever I want. My account with you is credited.
I like that.
Be,
It's fine.
be it known to you that I have an account running with you that I can draw from whenever I need it.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Thank you
That's
very much. I'll go ahead and try to do what you've said today immediately, so
that's fine.
that yeah.
So
So
whatever
thank you very
happens,
very much.
if you have any hitch anywhere, if the videos are not enough, just hit on any of us and you have your support. All right.
Pray there'll be. I pray there'll
All
be.
right. Thank you very much, madam.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh.
Yes, can you
Hello.
hear me? Can you
Hello.
hear me?
Oh. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Mr. James.
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh dear. Thank you. I pray the videos are enough. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. I
Yeah,
pray the videos are enough. I learned how busy you are. I wouldn't even want to keep cutting into your very busy schedule. I really pray that the videos are enough.
that's fine. That's fine. All right. Thank you very much, madam, and do enjoy the
Thank
rest
you
of
very
your day.
much. You have a blessed day. Bye.
You too, man. Bye. All right, viewers. If you just joined up, we greatly appreciate you being with us right now. But this is going to be the end of this particular workshop. If you are reviewing this on a later day and you have any particular message for us or comment or question, kindly leave it in the comment box. Do well to subscribe to the channel so that you can always follow up on other issues that will be coming up on this same channel. Once again, thank you very much for joining us and do have a blessed Tuesday. Bye.